From pine tree to palm tree, this is your host, Trevor J. White, and his lovely co-host, wearing a super hot little tank top thing with some pants that I think you and I both could fit in.
Hey, they're in style.
I know, but I think I'm going to try them on with you later on. How does that sound?
We'll do it for science.
I think it's a good
It'll be
science
for
experiment.
science.
I think it's a great science experiment. So, how are you today on this lovely Tuesday evening?
You know, I'm really good. It's been a good day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why has it been good?
It's been productive, and whenever I have a good productive day, I always just feel good.
Yeah.
Just feel good. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, you also signed up a new client just a minute ago,
Oh yeah.
which that's very cool.
And there's that.
That helps
So now I have
because
another girl that I'm bringing into the Iron Butterfly fold.
into the tribe.
Yep.
The tribe's not a fold. Everyone calls it a tribe these days.
The tribe is out. It's out.
It's out. It's not. They're folds
Well, it was
now.
a tribe for a second, and then it was community. I'm going to bring it back. I'm just going to invent it. You're part of my fold.
Part of the fold. Okay.
Because once you get in the fold, you can't get out. A tribe, you can leave. A community, you can leave. You cannot ever leave Iron Butterfly.
Because it's a cult.
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
now we figured it out.
but you're like
It
mine
is
forever.
a cult. And you are the cult leader. No, but it's pretty cool that you've got another woman who's you're going to be able to help and make a difference in her life and all of that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That kind of creates that. But this is an exciting episode. Why is this an exciting episode, Danielle? Tell us why.
Because you're about to run 77 miles around Kauai.
That's cool, but that's not it. Come on. Why is this the most exciting episode of all time?
Because it's our first one being filmed.
Yes, we have cameras. So those of you guys listening on audio, go over to the YouTube. And do we even have the YouTube set up? We're going to have it set up.
No,
probably
but
by the
there
time
will be by the time this is dropped.
Okay, so you're going to go to our YouTube, which is going to be called From Pine Tree to Palm Tree.
Yeah, you're going to see me wiping bugs off my hat.
It'll be perfect. So, and if you have a hard time seeing Danielle's eyes, it's because she's very shy. So she put a hat on to cover her face.
I like this hat. This is my Kauai hat.
It is.
Every time I wear this hat, everyone loves me in this hat.
Only when you wear the hat?
Only when I wear the hat. They're like, hey, you're cool. And I'm like, and I don't wear the hat. And no one says
thinks you're
anything
cool
to me, and they don't think I'm cool.
Oh, no. I think you're cool. Okay, so
doesn't really count. It's kind of like when your mom tells you you're pretty.
That is a good point. But we weren't talking about pretty. We were talking about cool. So I never said anything about you being pretty.
Hey, I was born cool.
I was born cool and born pretty, and you're amazing. And yes, we're filming it, so we're recording. So now you get to see what it was we're talking about when we talk about being at Lidgate Park and the beach, and that you can see behind us, and you can see there it is. Right? See, it's pretty awesome. I can't think of a more epic backdrop to record a podcast than here on the beach with you. And just talking about life in general. And
lots of stuff.
Yeah, you brought it up. I know. I've got today's Tuesday, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days, and then I'll be going to sleep and waking up in the morning, and we'll be running 77 miles around the island of Kauai. Oh. Hey, that's your hat has the island of Kauai. There's my map. Yep. So I'm going to be running around that map right there, and it's gonna be awesome. So. I don't know if it's really set in yet, though, to be honest. We had our friends reach out, and they're just like, hey, because they're going to come help, kind of pay, pace.
There's a lot of people that ask to pace and support you. And I'm like, hey, babe, do you have a plan? And you're like, no. Well, you have a lot of people asking to come and run with you, support you,
I know.
Be an aid station for you. And I can't, it's not my thing. I can't tell them what's going on.
I know, but I need you to.
No.
Just kidding. I don't need you to. But what I need, here's the problem. And I told you this when we were talking about it before. I'm on the fence about what kind of help I want and need.
Well, you're going to need aid station help.
Right. I will that. And so maybe that's more what it is.
Most of it, as I think people want to cheer, they want to have a station. Like, I know the Kalaheo group, the people, they want to be like, speaking of, I've been saying this wrong the whole time.
What?
It's not Kalaheo, it's Kalaheo.
I know.
I have been saying it wrong.
Oh, yeah. It's the Kalaheo Award.
Yeah.
I always say with church, Kalaheo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kalaheo?
Kalaheo.
Tell me you're a Hallie without telling me you're a Hallie.
Kalaheo.
Kalaheo.
Anyways, they want to be like a support, like they want to see where your route is so they can have a station there.
Oh,
and
I know.
Say good job and give
well,
you
they
water.
need to know what time, and that's the hard part too. I don't know what time.
Well, we can gauge it though.
We can guess.
It's all about when you leave, and then at that point,
you're gonna have to.
Group.
Yeah, you're gonna have to update them and be like, "Hey, Trevor just hit a wall."
Or just share your location with everyone
in the world.
And then you can be like, where's he at now?
So if you guys want to come see where I'm at and stalk me while I run on Saturday, I'm sharing my location with the entire world.
Whole world.
It's going to be exciting. But yeah, I've got to put that together. I've got to look at the map. I need to look at what my times, but all of that.
What time do you think you're going to start?
I want to wake up at 5, so I think we could be there by 6
Okay.
a.m. By the starting area, the starting line of the race that I'm the only one that's going to be at. And so 5 a.m. and then I've got. I mean, it's just who know. I don't know. My legs should be rested. I told you earlier, just like a few minutes ago before we started recording, that my legs don't actually feel very rested, and I've already been 4 days off of them. So it's kind of a weird place because I talked about this earlier on my Instagram and did a story on it because I've got all the work that all my prep work is done. Like I know you understand this from like your fitness competitions. Like there comes that week or basically it's like all the work you were going to do is done. There's nothing else you can do. You're kind of sitting in this pocket. And then my mind is bouncing around. Did I do enough? Did I push hard enough? Should I have pushed maybe harder on hills? Should I have overtrained more so that my legs would be used to it? But I don't know. I don't know. My legs are still fatigued from the training I've been doing, and I'm 4 days post running. And so I don't know that that's necessarily true. But we went to Oahu this last weekend, which technically I was supposed to do a 24-mile run 2 days ago, which I didn't do.
Yeah.
So that is the only thing where I can look at it and be like, hopefully that didn't screw me.
Yeah.
But I'm also as okay with it because I'm like, my legs are in just high levels of stress and strain and pain. And so maybe that, there went my phone into the sand. Son of a nutcracker. Gosh,
Maybe put it in your
that's
pocket.
the wonderful part of living here. And now it's covered and you guys are getting to experience this live inside of the game. Oh my goodness. It's the sand phone, whatever. But I don't remember what I was saying now.
You're talking about maybe it was okay that you didn't run the 24 miler.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And so I'm like, it is what it is. I don't know if it would have made much of a difference or did, but if my mind is just going through this, like, am I ready? Did I really prepare physically? And because I'm very aware that this is not a physical thing I'm doing. I mean, it is, but it's not, right? This is a mental thing. And I don't know when I'm going to break. I don't know what it's going to feel like. I know what it feels like to run 22 miles and hit a wall because I'm in freaking heat exhaustion and I'm dehydrated and I'm not taking care of myself. But I hit the running store in Oahu and I got $160 worth of gels and electrolytes. So, and then.
Which I think, honestly, looking at your training, that's one thing that you've been missing.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like your body, you're built you're a freaking machine. Like I see you do things that I don't see a lot of people do on a whim. So I think if you feed your body and you're taking care of it, your endurance will increase because it's getting what it needs. Like the last run you did that was long and you about died, you didn't eat hardly anything. You had like 200 calories and not very much water.
Yeah.
So now you're smarter and you've got your things.
Well,
I think now you gotta find shoes this week, and hopefully.
Oh, I know what to get. I'm not worried about the shoes.
I'm hoping they have them in stock. Did you forget where we live?
No, I didn't forget. I'm fine. I'm not worried about that.
Well, hopefully they have them because if they don't,
then let's get different ones. It'll be fine. It's not. I'm gonna get the same one.
They might not have those.
Okay. We don't live.
You guys don't know what it's like.
We don't live in a third world country.
Kind of.
No.
And when it comes to shipping, kind of sometimes we do.
Why? Because it takes 2 weeks instead of 1 day?
No, I bought Lyric's birthday presents 2 months ago.
I know there's some things that take a minute, but we're not in a third. We're fine. We have a famous footwear. They sell shoes.
I know.
They're going to have running shoes for me. So I'm not worried. And I don't even know that I necessarily need them, but I'm going to get them and I'll have my other shoes too. So I have 2 shoes, plenty of food, all of that. I'm just excited to do the thing. But it is interesting knowing that we're this close to the thing, right? That it's like, it's just a couple days away and come Saturday morning, it's go time. And it's like, I'm going to start out on this adventure and, we've got a lot of people to support, but at the end of the day, it's me alone on that road. And it's me fighting against all narratives that I've ever had about what I'm capable of. That's really why I'm doing it. I'm looking at that. It's like I was on a call with one of my clients today and talking about breaking thresholds and just breaking the stories and the narratives that he has that are keeping him stuck. And I'm like, I don't know what mine are really. I've known what they've been in the past, but I feel like some of those I've broken. So I'm super excited to just go find the new side of it. But also, like, I don't know, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all.
Not nervous at all? Not at all?
I'm excited to find, I'm excited to talk to Lucifer and I'm excited to talk to God. because that's what this will be like. Because
Yeah.
it's that dark side of me is going to come out, right? The dark side of me who's just it's want to quit, and fear and anger and rage. I know that will all surface. And then I also know that my light side will come out, and that, like, so when I say I'm going to, what if someone was joke, anyone who's done it, if you've ever done any endurance events, anything like this, they all say the same thing. And it was funny, Spencer I was talking to, and a week ago or so, and he's just like, he's all, oh, sweet, you're going to meet God out there.
Oh, he said that too?
Uh-huh.
I know Garrett told you that too.
Yep. So it's what you do when you push yourself like this. I think this is why other people do it. It's why I want to do it, because I've pushed myself in different ways, but this is the next step. And honestly, it's kind of fun. There's a part of me that's like, how many people are going to be able to say they ran around the island of Kauai in a day?
Not very many people.
Not very many at all. I mean, I don't know anyone, and everyone I tell it, they're like, the crazy thing has been, I think we talked about it last week, is I am 100% let go of the fact that I need to justify what I'm doing to anybody.
Yeah, which is good, because I think anytime you're up to big stuff, it doesn't make sense to anyone else but you feel like you should have to justify it to get their like approval or something.
Yeah.
But I think as humans we do that just because in our mind, when you get that look of like, what the, you're like, well, here's why. It's almost like when you say no to somebody, it's like, no, I can't do that. But then you like follow up with telling them why. And in the end, like, they don't really need to know why.
No is a complete sentence, right? And so is this. Nobody gets it. There's very few that get it. I think you understand intellectually why I'm doing it, but I think at the same time you don't get it.
No, I don't get it.
Like you don't get it. Like why I have to do this, and why. I think the problem is I didn't have to do this. Here's the problem. I said I had the idea, and I said I was going to do it, and then there was no turning back. There was no, because if I decided not to do this at any point over the last 6 weeks, I would be haunted by the failure of being weak, because I'd made this decision and fear would have stopped me from doing it. And I can never allow fear to control me that way. I just won't do it. I just know what the other side of that is. And when you have something that you want to do that's hard, and then you get afraid and you don't do it because you justifiably stay small to not push yourself, that's a haunting. It will never leave me. So no matter how ridiculous this sounds, I have no choice. And we've told so many people that I'm doing it. Like, what choice do I have?
Well, you have a choice to carry the regret forever, or just do it. And I'm just worried about
There's just so many things in life, though, that you do or you don't do. But you get to know whether you went all in. You get to know whether you pushed your boundaries, and you get to know what it's like to experience the other side of it. And one of the things I've become very, very keen to, effort. People don't like this. This is, get ready for an unpopular belief, because most people do not agree with me on this. And that's fine. I don't care. You're you and I'm me. I think effort is BS. I don't care about effort. Effort doesn't mean anything. People want to give themselves a pat on the back because they tried something and they tried really hard and they did their best. Sorry to say it, that doesn't matter, in my opinion. What matters is, you did you do it or not? Did you achieve the result or not? I don't care how hard you tried. It's not relevant to me. Like, it just doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, there's someone else who did it. They did what you failed to do. And yes, they had to also put in effort. If effort alone was enough, then everybody would be super successful. Everybody would have it done, and everyone would be just like the greatest version of who they are. But it's not that, because people's effort is a lie. It's a lie. People will say, I did everything I could, when the reality is they're a liar. They're full of it. Like, they didn't do everything they could. They quit short. They quit before the finish line, and justifiably let excuses be the reason why they couldn't do the thing. Like, the only reason people that say they want to grow a company don't have the company is because they've been unwilling to go to the ruthless commitment to the result, and they're too concerned with the damn effort. Like, I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in my client's life. I've seen it all over. People in a relationship, people with their body. There's not a single person on this planet Earth that I know of, that I've ever met, I don't care what their position is right now, that could not compete on stage. Now, are they going to win? I don't know. That's going to come down to how they go and how they show up. But given enough time, 5-year window, 10-year window, I don't care. Anyone can do it. It's like there's if you want to achieve something in this life, it's effort it's almost like that's the given. It's like people giving themselves credit for working hard. Everybody works hard. That's not a crazy thing to say. Well, I work hard. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that work hard. Everyone works hard. So that's not an indicator. And anyone who's successful, who's actually done something that matters, something that we build statues about, something that we put into history books, those kind of people, yes, we know they worked hard. We know they put in effort. That's a given. But everyone else who hasn't accomplished anything, guess what they want to talk about? Effort. Well, I tried. I did so hard. I worked so hard. I'm so proud of you. Look how hard you're trying. Did you win? If you didn't win, I don't care how much your effort was. Try harder. Go longer.
Yeah.
Push harder. So that's why I know what I'm talking about is very much so a thought process for very few people. It's a thought process in my head. And I'm sure half our listeners are like, wow, Trevor's intense. And I don't know how Danielle puts up with him, because that would be a pretty exhausting way to live life.
No, that's silly, because you're as intense you are. You're also that deep of a lover and a supporter and a protector. So like, I get all of it. Yes, you're intense, but you're not just intense. Like you're a deep individual, and
yeah, I just don't know any other way to live. I don't know any other way to live.
There are moments where it's exhausting. I mean, now I'm just used to it. When we were first married, it was hard. And sometimes I still am like, ugh, it's so hard to be me. So hard to be me.
Whatever. I showed you the reel of it like a while ago when you're sitting there talking and you're like, can you just don't be you? And I was like, okay. It's like, that's like in the Dragon movie, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're just, and he's his dad, and he points to him and he's like, you just gestured to all of me.
Yeah, just stop being you. You got to change this.
Just change that. Like,
all of you.
You just gestured to all of me. Okay,
no, got it. It's fine. But at the same time, I don't understand why you're doing it. I just love you enough to where I'll always support you. I'll always be there to support you. I'll always be there to cheer you on, because I know you'll do that for me. I just worry about your health.
Yeah, I get it. But don't be. That's a silly thing to worry about. Don't worry about it. Here's what I know. I'm never going to stop until, I'm not saying I'll ever buy a Bugatti. I'm not saying I'll ever take over the world. I'm not saying that's even what I want. But I'm never going to stop until I'm in the position to make those decisions. Right? I'm never going to stop until I'm in the position that I'm influencing the people I know I can't influence. And I'm nowhere near that. I'm nowhere near that. Nowhere near. And what I know is it has nothing to do with my tactics. It's not the things I'm doing. It's my mindset. It's who I actually am.
Yeah.
Like, it's who I am, which is why I've just gone to war on this. And I think this is where people get it twisted, right? When they look at goals and targets and ambition, and people are like, well, you should live a balanced life. Like, to me, a balanced life is a successful life of crushing it in all areas of life, which includes business, which includes your body, which includes your relationships. It's like, that's success.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate level. But I don't see why, if you know that's what you want and you know that's the direction that you need to go, why would you go slow? Why would you do it halfway? Why would you just sort of do it? That's why, for me, I'm like, well, if I can compress time in one Saturday, and the man who would know, David Goggins, is the one that said it, and I believe it wholeheartedly, that in one day you can have 7 years of growth, because you're going to hit so many walls and so many barriers, and you're going to destroy the narrative. Like, I'm so excited to be on the run at 52 miles across and hit a wall where I'm literally running into the darkest dark of my mind. And everything inside of me is failing. Everything. My mindset's failing. My body's failing. I'm huddled up on the side of the damn road. Maybe by that time on that point, it's probably in Kauai. I'm on the side of the road in Kauai in tears. Can't even move another muscle. But somehow I'm going to find it. I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen in that moment. But it's going to hit. I know it will. And I'm going to be there crushed. And then I'm going to call on God. I'm going to call on the powers. I'm going to call on my sons, my daughter in heaven. I'm going to call on everything I have. And I'm going to stand up. I'm going to keep going. I'm never going to quit. And I'm going to learn who I really am on Saturday. See, everything up to this point is all talk. Who am I going to be? Who am I going to be? It's bullshit. I'm done with that. What I'm wanting to do, I want to find out. I'm not interested in talking about it. I'm not interested in reading scripture about some dude who lived 2,000 years ago about how he did it. What's my I will go and do? What's mine? And I could take 10 years to figure it out. Or I can just go out this Saturday in 4 days and find out real quick. when my back's up against the wall and the world is telling me you're crazy, you should stop, and everybody's worried that I'm going to get hurt. Everybody's worried. Holy crap, I can't believe he's doing this. Everybody's like, Trevor's insane. He's a crazy person. And I'm going to smile right back and say, watch me. Watch me. And I'm going to meet that guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is because I've never done anything like this way to push myself to the extreme. I'm excited. So I'm not nervous at all. I'm excited to meet that guy because there's going to be several versions of him over that 77 miles that are going to show up. And by the time I get to the end, it's not even going to be a crowning moment of I completed this. It's going to be everything that happened along the way that led me to that last step at 77 miles. And I may collapse right on the ground and be like, you're going to have to pick me up and put me in the car because I ain't going to be able to get in. And I might just sit there and you just sit there with me and we'll sit there for 2 hours because I can't move and you're not strong enough to pick me up. So I just sit there and you just like pour water on me. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's what I know is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that's going to happen. And we'll see. I'm excited. I really am. I know what it feels like to hit a wall. I've hit them already on all these training runs. I know what it's like going to my third and fourth day of 10 miles a day on my legs, and that fourth day and just being like, screw this. This sucks. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. Every part of me is like, what are you doing? This is the dumbest thing ever. Why are you doing this? It's 11 o'clock at night and you're going on a run. Your family's at home. You're going to get home and they're going to be in sleep. Like, what are you doing? You're not an athlete like this. This isn't what you should be. If you're going to be this obsessed, be obsessed about something else. Like all these stories going through my head, but I get up and I do it anyways. And so I push. And so I'm going to build on those moments that I've had already. And it'll be what it'll be. I really am not worried about me physically though.
That makes one of us.
Because I've got all the things I need to keep me hydrated, to keep me safe in that respect. And I even have my straw hat. Okay. I'm good. It's going to cover me. It's going to keep the sun off. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry. That went off.
Yeah.
It was like,
it's all right.
I was like in
you
it.
You have a big thing coming.
I was like in it.
I
was very excited.
That's who you are.
Very excited.
You don't have to apologize.
I know. I kind of wish it now we're talking about it like this. I wish it was like tomorrow. I wish this was the eve of, so I could just close my eyes and go to bed, know that tomorrow morning I was going to wake up and I was going to meet God. I'm excited to meet God. That's the question I have for y'all, my listeners. How many of y'all met God like this?
It's not a competition.
No, I'm just saying. Like, wouldn't that be cool if you knew you could do that? If you could plan a way to like get your body completely destroyed so that I don't know. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to do. And I've done it in various levels, but not like this.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm not saying it's a competition. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be cool to be able to do it?
Yeah.
It wasn't me comparing myself to other people. That was me saying, hey, what if you did the same thing? Not the 77 miles, but find your thing. What's the thing that pushes you to the next level?
I did it last year.
Yeah. So like you have an experience of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what it's like to break thresholds, to do something that is unreasonable, to do something at 40. How old are you? 49, 50, 51?
You're such an a-hole.
I can't remember. 52. I can't tell everybody how old you are. I don't remember.
Everyone else knows how old I am. You just don't remember.
49. 40 several?
40 several.
Okay, you're 40 several. 47 years old to get up there on stage. You totally know what it is. To your version of it, right? Everybody has their own version of it, and that's the cool part. It is not a comparison game.
Well, and I think a lot of people don't like. I don't think everyone needs to go through pain like you do to level their life up. I don't think physical pain is required for some people. For some people, it's just sitting in the stillness, and for some people, it's just doing different things. It's not breaking your body down. It's maybe surrendering to something else. But
yep. Yeah, everybody's got their own path, and you have to find a way to get your ego out of the way.
Yeah.
So however you do that, most alpha men that I know, the only way they get their ego out of the way is to break their body down.
Well, it's because they have a huge ego.
Yeah, well, but only alpha men.
Ginormous.
If you're not an alpha male, and this isn't a stab at other guys, but if you're not an alpha, it's easier to get yourself out of the way. It's easier to get your ego out of the way. You don't have as big of an ego. Like, you don't think you're as great as you think, you know what I mean? Like, you're not struggling with that. You don't think you have all the answers the same way.
Yeah.
Which is, so it's, I guess, being an alpha, being a personality, someone who's a go-getter, like it's like a superpower, but it's also blocked me. So like, this is a lot of the men that I've trained, this is their problem as well. So I understand it so well.
Yeah.
Which the easiest way for that type of a guy to get to this point I'm talking about is to beat them down physically.
Yeah.
Because that's what's blocking them. Once you break their physical down, they can't fight anymore. And they'll just release. They'll actually let go of things they've been holding on to for years. They'll let go of lies they've been telling and things that they've been trying to like portray to the world and all of this. And like, because they're vulnerable. That's their first time. That's how you get them vulnerable. So yes, I 1,000% agree with you. Somebody can do like, I'm having to do it the hard way. Just because who I am, I know this is my recipe.
Yeah.
This is the recipe for me to get there.
Yeah.
What do you think your recipe is? Because you're pretty physical too. But is this to get to the state at which I'm referring to, right, where you can fully surrender and let God in? What is yours? I'm curious.
I just think it's doing something that's scary. Like that's kind of what happened with me last year with some of my experiences and just learning how to trust God in certain situations with my competition. Like where I had the whole plan and I was gonna like take a couple shots of tequila backstage to ease my nerves, and I was planning on it, and that's what people do. That's what I was told, and I was like, all right, I'm doing it. God will understand. He'll understand. I'll be fine. And then simply just being instructed by the Spirit to just trust in Christ and let him carry me and not the tequila. And that honestly was probably the first big step in trusting and surrendering that I've given to God in probably like the last 10 years. And so for me, like that's my breaking point was I relied on his help again. And, so that's my version of, that shifted my whole trajectory with my spirituality, with my relationship with my Savior and with God. And it's just been a process ever since then. But I like beating myself up physically. Like I do that. Like when I would go do my advanced certifications, all things that like, I really enjoy that, but it's more so for me to believe in me. Like I don't have a really good belief in me ever. I've never had that. Like I'm the opposite of you. I don't think that I'm great.
I do not struggle with that.
No, you don't. I have always struggled with that. Like I think I'm okay. And I like to be good and I like to be great. And I have this standard that I have for myself. My expectations for myself are pretty high. But if you ask me what I think about myself, I'm just me. Like I'm not great. And so for me, when I go into those places where I'm breaking thresholds, it's my higher self saying, you are great. Like, please see it, believe it. Like, so that's what it does for me. Mm-hmm. But like to run, like for me to meet God, that I don't even feel in my heart that would even work. For me, it'd be sanctuary, quiet, grounding, energy work. Like that's where I feel the most connected to God. Is slowing down and not running from things because I sedate through action. Like I'm always going and busy. So like for me, my impossible run is, hey, how about you just sit and face your pain? Like just sit in your pain and just let God, like, and then just give it to him and let him heal you and let him take it from you and actually trust him again.
Well, so like I see that in you. I've watched you do exactly that. And the thing that's interesting is I've looked when we would run Warrior Weeks back in the day, and we would run them with men, right? And then all of a sudden we started a Warrior Woman, right? Remember this? Like you were a part of that.
Yeah.
We learned very quickly as organizers of the event that what took us 2 full days with men to get them to break down took about 30 minutes with women.
Maybe an hour with women. And
yes.
we probably had like 1,000 women in that room.
Oh yeah. And then
maybe like 500.
But then it was interesting because we're all sitting there like, now what do we do? Our entire plan is thwarted. We were supposed to take to get these women to this point that they got to in less than an hour. It was supposed to take us over 2 days to get there. And we're like, okay, well that would be stupid to keep going the direction. So we had to audible literally everything we were doing because of that. Like you women.
Well, a lot of women don't have egos.
Not the same way.
It's
you
not
do,
the
but
same,
it's not the same
but
way.
not into where, and I'm just speaking from my experience and women that I know very close and intimately. Like we don't have like the ego is more so we just want to be accepted and feel loved and worthy. And a lot of women struggle with like not feeling worthy and not feeling good enough. And I know men have that story too, but men are so much better at masking it with masculinity.
We are better.
Women
Agreed.
No, did you just hear what you said? It took us 30 minutes to get through a whole day of what it took dudes to get through.
Well, there is that.
Just saying.
And that's the one
Just
thing.
saying.
It's the one thing we're not better at.
But I don't know. I just think that's what makes us different. Like, and it's not
Yeah.
that we're better or worse, but it's like we operate very differently.
Yeah, by design, and it's perfect
Uh-huh.
that way. But I think the key is finding your own recipe.
Yeah.
I have to do my way, and if I tried to do it your way, guess what would happen?
We wouldn't get the results.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing would happen.
Well, if I did it your way, I would hate. There's nothing. I would just be pissed.
Yeah. Well, nothing would come from it. It
No.
wouldn't. It wouldn't be.
It would be for nothing.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be, and this is the key element. But I think the unity in it, in the thing that we're talking about, and everything becoming, it has to be centered on an eye to connect to God.
Yeah.
Like the things that you do, they need to be orchestrated with that intent. If they're orchestrated with that intent, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not orchestrated with that intent, then it's like going through pain and it's no longer productive. It's suffering, whether that's emotional pain, whether it's like even meditating, going to on what am I trying to say? Meditation retreat.
Yeah.
Right. Going to this meditation retreat and all weekend and you do this thing, but if you have no intent behind it, like your intention is not to connect to God and to create a higher version of who you are and to really be able to connect to take action when you get back from this retreat, then it's just a nice place to hang out and listen to some good music and relax.
Probably have nap.
Yeah, it's like a spa day.
Expensive nap.
It's like just a spa day, and that's great if you just wanted a spa day. But I think that's the recipe to get there is different for every person. Every person.
What I think it honestly comes down to for me, I just have to get out of my comfort zone. Like when I push myself out of my comfort zone, a piece of me unlocks, and it's like sometimes I have to tell myself this. If I want certain results, like let's say physically, I want certain results, there's going to be a sacrifice. And if I'm not willing to sacrifice in that way, then I can't expect to get those results. And so it's like that with anything else. If I want certain results with the relationship with you, there's got to be to level our marriage up. Both of us have to become a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning to like reach new heights, whether it's a conversation or an awareness or like thinking outside the box of like reinventing our relationship. The same thing is I've learned with spirituality is like especially when you grow up in a very spiritual home and you learn a certain way, there came a point in my life where I was like, I need to get out of my comfort zone to actually see what I want in my life as far as my connection to God and to Christ and walk that path. But I think that's how it is with everything. And I think if you're someone who wants to be an achiever, like you're an achiever. I didn't really live that way until I met you. Like I always had high standards for myself and I wanted to progress in life and do cool things. But the whole like self-development, I didn't even know that world existed until I married into your family. And you guys were all like, you had the red pill and everyone was like, if you're not growing, you're dying. And it was like every family dinner, I was like, I'm a piece of crap. Oh, well, I'm okay. Unless I do this or this. And I think sometimes we can take it to the extreme where we constantly don't ever feel good enough.
Well, and I think that's if your actions don't align with what you're saying, that creates I'm never happy.
But I also feel like there's seasons for rest and there's seasons for push.
Oh.
I know you don't agree with that, but
nope.
Like if you push to a certain degree, I'm not saying not doing anything, but I'm like, for me personally, there's the push and then there's the recovery. In the recovery is where I actually learn and grow. But I operate pretty much opposite of you. Like I process differently than you. I don't. Yeah.
Like how many times have you and I had a conversation and I'm like, I don't like vacations. I feel after like a day or two of a vacation or taking time off, I feel like a useless piece of crap. I feel like I don't have fun. I have
it's hard because I
can't disconnect.
Yeah.
From it. It's very tough for me. And I would rather, but I also know that then when I'm in my productive mode in my zones, there's been often many times that I'm not actually doing what I need to be doing. So I'm not even being productive enough. So then I feel like crap in the production zones. And then to go take time off, I'm like, what the hell am I taking time off from? I haven't even been able to go at red line number 10 in the production level. I'm still working on that. And then we're going to go so then I'm going to go to 0. I'm like, so it's like for me, I think there's this part as I'm trying to dissect that where I still am unhappy with the way I'm showing up in the production realm, which isn't just business. It's just producing. It's like growing, creating. Yeah. I've been unhappy with that. So the idea of taking time off from something I'm already unhappy with because I haven't worked hard enough or done enough there, it creates this weird thing in my head that almost like I probably that I don't deserve the time off. Like I haven't quote unquote arrived yet, which is silly because arrival's not a thing at all and doesn't exist, and there is no arrival. But it's like, but I saying that, but then still in my mind, I'm like, well, there's at least a arrival to another level. I'll keep driving, but I feel like I'm not but I don't even know what that next level is.
Yeah,
even this last weekend, going to Oahu on Lyric's birthday and being able to have an amazing birthday with her and all our friends, and it was awesome. It was great, but there was also this part of me that's like, dude, what are you doing here? Well, like, bro, you don't have time for this.
Maybe you could think about a different perspective if it's not about you.
It's always about me.
Like vacations are not about
That was the silliest thing you ever said.
They're about, but for reals, like it's not about you or how productive you've been. The purpose of a vacation or time with your family is time and to be present and to create memories and for the kids to have these situations where we're together experiencing new things. Yeah. And for me, sometimes it's been frustrating in the past, like especially the stint of years where we didn't go on vacation ever, because I'm like, now we're here and we don't have the kids all under one roof anymore. And so it's like, I don't want the vacation just because I look at it as it's not about me. It's about what can we do as a family together outside of our normal routines to where we're staying in a cool hotel, experiencing the views, going to that surf park, like celebrating Lyric and all of her friends making her feel so special and watching the kids speed shop because they have a half an hour before our flight. I've never seen girls move so fast.
It's like one of the top 5 largest malls in the world.
I literally walked into Abercrombie and they were in the back, and I walked to the back, and when I turned around, they were gone. Then I walk into American Eagle and they're like looking through racks, and then I turn around and they're gone, and I'm all, how in the crap are you even looking at things? And then they go into Brandy Melville, and I'm like, we were in there the longest, but I was just like,
well, I think they both bought something there.
Yeah, they did, but I was dying. But they were like, we got to keep moving. And they kept looking at their phones, and they're like, we have 15 minutes. And then I looked at Nick, and I was all, no wonder you just stand at the door. He's like, this is how we do it. You just stay here. They're going to come out this way. They went in.
There's only one in and out.
And I was literally running,
back.
And I kept trying to find you, and I'm all, I don't know where the girls are. They keep moving so fast, and I can't keep up. I can't shop that way. There is no way. No way. I was just dying. Yeah. I was like, and Lyric loved it. She was like, it's called speed shopping, Mom. Keep up. I'm like,
get up with the times, old lady. Get up with the times.
But to me, it's like, and no matter what we're leaving at home, and I think that's easier for me to disconnect than it is for you in a lot of ways. But that's my vacations, because I remember growing up having vacations, and some of my fondest memories with my siblings where we were outside of the house experiencing new things together, shoved in a camper trailer together when it's raining, and then making up stupid skits, like things like that, like with Lyric and Shay putting on a dance show and teasing the boys and her dragging Shay down the hallway, like little things like that. I wouldn't trade for anything, because now I have those forever.
And I'm not against it. It's just hard for me.
I know. I feel bad because it's hard for you to be present.
And I think a lot of it is because I carry a weight that you don't carry.
Yeah.
For our family.
Yeah.
Like, it's not your job to protect the family, to provide for the family, like, that's my job. That's what my stewardship is. And so when I leave the house, I don't get a disconnect. Same thing with being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not an employee, which means when I go home, I don't clock out and then just show up Monday. I clock out, and I don't clock out because there's no such thing. It's still my business, and I still have to do all these things.
There's ever clock out.
Right. And there's this, that's what I'm saying with the disconnection part, which is different, I think, than from someone who's not the provider, is you don't have that weight the same way.
Yeah.
You may have some worries about it. You may know the situation, and there may be a part of you that's like, oh, I hope that, but at the end of the day, what are you saying? You're not saying, I hope I figure it out. You're saying what?
Trevor better figure this out.
Yes. Right. And I know that, right? Because it's my role. I'm okay with that. Totally okay with that. And so that, I think, is maybe another reason why I'm not like, it's harder for me to disconnect in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's things I've put in place and things we have building right now that I'm hoping make it easier for me, but I also am very aware that all I want to do is produce more.
Yeah.
Like, there's this drive, and it's not produce money. It's produce more growth.
Yeah. I think it's just part of you as a person. Like we talked about weeks ago, you're not happy unless you're in the red line. and you function well there. I don't function well in the red line. I function well in organization, and there's areas that I function in. But anytime you take your foot off and you want to like feel like you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, I guess you would say, you end up just being moody and miserable.
Totally do. You know how I enjoy the fruits of my labor? I jump in my car, drive to Waimea Canyon, and see if I can't get that car sideways.
You're a drifter?
Mm-hmm. No, not really. I don't drift that car. I try to drive it fast. Drifting's not actually fast.
Yeah.
But no, but like that's my that takes me a morning, couple hours, and then I'm like, that's what so it's not like it's just different.
But I think if you're an entrepreneur, you're built to want to work.
Yeah, and it's not for money. This is what's twisted. There's an element of money, obviously, just like everybody. We all go to whatever our job is to make money.
Yeah.
But it's to just produce, to produce.
Well, it's create.
To create, to build something. It's like being a part of the building. I mean, because I'm pretty, like, I know without question. And if there were just some magical wand that was raised and it's like, okay, here you go, Trevor, you're going to make $100,000 a month. You're good to go. You don't have to keep fighting, for these revenue numbers. And if that all of a sudden came to me and I had the $100,000 a month, and I wouldn't just sit around.
No.
Like, I wouldn't spend any time just chilling at the beach or just doing nothing. I wouldn't, like, there's no way. I would build something.
Yeah.
Like, my immediate reaction in my mind is to go, okay, what can I build now?
Yeah.
Because I have all this time and capacity and resource to go build.
Yeah.
Oh man, what can I going to be able to do now? So I would actually work more.
Yeah.
Whereas I think there's a lot of people that they had that experience. They would be like, oh, I'm done working for the rest of my life. And that's fine. You do you, boo.
Well, that's why
I ain't worried about it.
Entrepreneurs, I've been around you guys all long enough. Like, you're just built different. But everyone's built the way they're built because that's how the world works. Like, if everybody was an entrepreneur, everybody was one way, they're like, it just wouldn't work. Like, we
need fry cooks
differently. And there's people who love to do that.
I know. I'm not saying
so
that wasn't a stab.
The world,
we need all of
a little bit of everybody. Yeah.
We need all, and everybody finds joy and peace and happiness in other ways. There's many people. I used to be so arrogant. Not that I'm not a little arrogant now, but I used to be way worse. And I used to think that anybody who didn't want to be an entrepreneur or anybody who didn't want to become a multimillionaire was like a lazy POS, which is the craziest. That was legit real thoughts in my head. Now, I'm going to go ahead and plead the victim card on this.
You're kind of brainwashed.
It was indoctrinated into me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and throw it. And once I finally pulled myself out of the cult I was a part of, I'm not going to name names, but I pulled myself out of that cult, and I saw for myself that was ridiculous, and that was a really, really bad way of thinking, and it wasn't legit or true at all. But I used to have that feeling that if you didn't want to do that, but now I realize, no, I've got friends here on the island who their lives couldn't be more dramatic than mine, more different. They're so different than mine. Some of the locals here that I am great friends with, dear, like men that I love, would literally and they are dramatically different than me. Mm-hmm. So different in every way possible. And they're happy.
Yeah.
And they enjoy their life just like I do. And then there's in part sometimes a part of me that's like, I wish I could turn it off.
Yeah.
Because I look at them and I'm like, man, I'm jealous of that.
Yeah.
How nice would that be that you get this peace? What is this peace you have? I don't even freaking know what it is. I gotta look at them and I'm like, peace, what is this?
Maybe you'll find that on Saturday.
No, I'm gonna find Satan first, and then I'm gonna find God.
Well, that's how it's gonna go. That's where the peace will come from.
I think it will. I really do.
The peace will be at the very end when you're done.
Nope, it's not when it will come. I promise you, it's not when it. That won't be it. Mm-hmm. I bet you. I'll bet you right now. We'll do some forecasting. We're gonna do a little wager right now. That's not when the peace will come. I guarantee you, it's not that there won't be peace in that moment, but that is not where what I'm talking about. That's not when that happens.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna. It's gonna come through when I find my darkest part. I'll find my darkness. This is what people don't understand. For me, and I'm not alone in this. There's a lot of men that are just like me. You don't find light by just sitting or hanging out in light. You find light by fighting through your darkness. And I think this is the same with every single person. I don't think it's just the same with me. Your light, your liberation is not avoiding the dark. It's actually facing the dark and going through it. And through the darkness, you find your true amount of light. So in order for me to find that here with this experience on Saturday, that's the goal. So it sounds silly. Like, I'm literally going to meet my dark side. I'm going to meet him head on. Yeah. I'm going to face him.
Well, I think a lot of people are afraid of the dark side.
For sure.
They just ignore it. But we all have a dark side. We all have light and dark.
Yeah. And which is crazy.
Culturally, we've kind of been raised to not approach the dark and not be in the dark. And if you're dark, then you're bad. So it's like,
oh yeah, well, our church, avoid the very appearance of evil.
mm-hmm.
And what we have done. Here's where it's wrong. Here's where I believe it is off. It's off base. I'm saying it. Maybe I'm teaching false doctrine right now, but it's off. We have skewed darkness with evil. They are two different things. Those are not the same thing. Think about Genesis. When the earth was created, what did it begin with?
Dark.
Everything was dark and it was void. There was nothing. God created from what? Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. That doesn't make sense because we're supposed to avoid the very appearance of evil. Well, yes, evil, but not dark. See, there's this. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Through darkness, God created light. He separated the heavens and the earth. Light from the dark. He gathered them together, but it started in dark. That's very interesting when you think about it. So what I'm saying is I'm not going to meet evil. I'm not going to meet the evil Trevor like I've got some sinister me inside there. No, I'm going to face the dark.
Well, usually that's pain.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the void of light. It's pain. Yep. It's all your insecurities. It's your stories. It's
the things that are holding me back.
It's shame. It's all the things that you carry around.
All the things I believe that are damaging, that I don't, there are things that go on in my head that as truth that are damaging my reality. They're stopping me from being able to accomplish what I need to accomplish in this life, this existence God gave me. And God said, hey, I need you to go down there. Here's your mission. I absolutely, without question, I don't know what it is, but I know God told me what it was. And he said, here's your mission. Go get it. What I know is I can't find it if I don't find the dark. And so I'm like, okay, that's the first. So that's my goal.
Yeah.
My goal is to go face that dark side of me, which I'm pretty confident is a badass. He's not weak. He's not a weak.
No, I think is our dark side is like our protector.
For sure. He's the one that gets stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
He's the version of us that when it needs to happen, he's the one that steps up.
Yep. That
version of you, or she, if I'm talking to you, like so I'm going to meet him and then I'm going to go through him. I'm going to walk through him. I'm going to embrace that dark and then I'm going to push through to the other side. And through the other side, that's where my liberation exists. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I know that will be there. To me, I don't know why. Mile 52 literally keeps coming into my head. It's many times it's come into my head.
See where it's at.
Mark it down and see what happens at mile 52. For some reason, 52 is in my head and it's been in my head for about 2 weeks that there's something at mile 52. We'll see. It'll be a very fun experiment to see what happens at 52 miles.
Yeah.
If anything, right? But that's where but anyhow, whenever that happens, 52, whenever, 62, I don't know. But that's going to happen before 77 miles. Because by the time I'm done, the only peace I'll have is that my body can stop moving.
Yeah.
That's the peace I'll have there. But that won't be a spiritual peace. That won't be the peace I'm actually looking for. I'm not looking to get my body to stop being in pain. I'm actually looking for my soul to stop being in pain.
Yeah.
And there's things I need to heal from. There's wounds. There's situations that I'm very aware of that I hold on to. Some of them had to do with my brother. Like there's things that I think I've dealt with and I know I haven't. And there's limitations that I experience because of that relationship and the stories I tell myself about it. And it's not him. He's not done anything wrong, right? I'm not coming at him. I'm coming at me. And this is what I need to attack. And so I know some of that's going to be revealed. There's just so many things. And here's the reality. If I get to 77 miles and none of this happens, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until this happens. I'll just run back. I did it out and back. How many miles would that be? 156?
I think you'll get there. I think you'll get there. You'll be fine.
If it doesn't happen at 77, I'm doubling it and we're going to 154. So get ready for 2 days of craziness. Just kidding. Oh, just kidding. So yeah, that's what's coming up on the docket. And I don't know, what are some final thoughts you have as we kind of wrap today? The first inaugural show with video, which it's actually worked out okay as I kind of look at, we'll check this out here real quick. You can still see us. Mm-hmm. It's dark. The sun has set, but I've got the camera set to pulling some light up and they look all right. And, they did okay. I think for the first run.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I want to bring all the cameras out though, because they're not all out. So we can use a little more angles, maybe do a close up of your nose on one of them. Just your nose.
Well, I have a cute nose.
You do. That's why I would really like to focus on that and have that be kind of a focal point.
That'd be kind of awkward for everyone watching.
It will. I won't stay on it very long. I'll flip off it real quick. It'll be like, here you are, and we're off of it, just like that. See, watch. See, there you are, and we're off of it, just like that. That's what we're gonna do. So, any final thoughts as we've kind of wrapped around today's conversation, which I think has been a powerful one. It's been powerful for me, but I'm confident some of the listeners will also have gotten value from what we've had to share today about.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for doing hard things. Like that's one thing that you've always encouraged and kind of led. is to do hard things. I know that our kids follow that. I know that Lyric pushes the way she does because of your example, and Eli pushes the way he does because of your example. So
yeah,
I'm just going to have faith that God's got you, because he's told me that he's got you on Saturday, and just do my best to support you. So, but I
you know
don't
what I'm most excited for? I was just thinking about that.
Pizza while you're running?
That I'm very excited for. We will be doing this. I will be Domino's
in
Pizza.
Lahui, I got to order it.
You got to order me a
Lahui.
pizza in Lahui. I want a Domino's Pizza, ham and pineapple, and I'm going to be running down the road eating it. So whatever is going to have to happen in order for you to film that, because I need to see me running down the road eating pizza. That's been the one thing. No, really what I'm excited about is I'm pretty sure Mike is going to be there.
I'm sure he'll be with you.
I'm confident.
The whole time.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Like I actually know he's going to be there. I don't know when he'll show up. I don't know if he'll be there the whole time. He might be there the whole time. Probably not, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know he's going to show up, and I think it'll be around mile 52. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I'm really pushing for this mile 52
I hope something happens for you.
If nothing happens at mile 52, I'm going to be very disappointed. I get done with 52, and I'm like, what the heck?
You're like, that was a lot.
Well, that was a ripoff. Then like mile 53, it's like, well, boom!
Yeah.
I get rocked.
It was like the fake.
It was
the hook.
It was the hook. Yeah, exactly. It was trying to set me up for that. So, my final thoughts on today, and just really looking at the conversation we've had on pushing yourself. My encouragement is find your thing. Mine's 77 miles. Yours was a fitness competition. What's yours? Like, identify what is your thing. What's the thing that you need to push on? What's the thing where you know that there's like a new level for you to explore? Maybe it's your spirituality. Maybe it's your body. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't know what it is for you, right? This could be in your relationships and the things you have going on there. But what is that for you? Find it. Like, find the thing and have the courage to break the stories and break the narrative of the way things have been. Don't allow your past to be projected into your future. If you want something different, stop taking the past with you. There's two times that matter to successful people: now and the future. And the future is actually more important sometimes than now. Now's easy. Handle what's in front of you. That's now. But don't let the past go into your future, because it's like Groundhog's Day. And so find the thing for you. Could be a simple thing. Could be, it doesn't have to be big. And maybe this first step for you is that little simple thing. Maybe it's literally a phone call you need to have. Maybe it's just a prayer you need to make. Maybe it's a journal entry you need to do to start down the path and the road to pull this off for you, to be able to truly find what's your next level. Like, what's the next version of who you are?
Well, and I think a lot of times too, for me being 47 and entering my first fitness competition, I think we as humans, we get in this place where we feel like we've made our choice and now we just have to sit in it. And for some people, maybe just asking the question of, oh, I can still create something. Like, I still have capacity. Like, I can do something different. So consider this your permission to look at your life and think, okay, what could I do differently? How could 2025 put me in a place where I'm a whole different person December 31st? And I think, especially if you get into the trenches and the mundane and you're just in survival mode, you don't think outside of that. But how to get out of that mode is by pushing yourself into something that A, it's going to push you, and B, that you really are intrigued and want to do. And I think we get stuck in these places where we're like, oh, I've made my choice. This is how life's going to be forever. This is it. No, we always have the ability to create. We always have the opportunity to learn and to grow, no matter what age we are. So don't think that you've missed anything, that you've missed your opportunity. There's always an opportunity. You just got to look for it and maybe start asking the questions of, what could my opportunity be this year?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Couldn't have said it better myself. With that, we are going to bring this inaugural YouTube episode to a close. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Go do your something awesome. And since we're doing this on YouTube as well, you guys listening on audio, head over to YouTube, give us a subscribe, and give us a comment underneath the YouTube video on kind of what did you think about today's show. And most importantly, what is your version of 77 miles? Post it in there. Give yourself a broadcast. Declare it. We'll kind of journey. Maybe we should make journals or something. We can make shirts. What's your 77 miles?
What's your 77?
Ooh, what's your 77? Ooh, I think we literally just came. I like that. I'm going to make a shirt. What's your 77? Done. I'm going to make a shirt and I'll be wearing it on next show. We'll see, because coming back next show, it's Tuesday. I run on Saturday. We'll see if I'm alive. If I'm alive, then I may be here on the show. but even still being alive, I might. No, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure what my physical state's going to be.
We might be filming in the car or in the house.
I might have been translated like Enoch.
Oh my goodness! All
because...
right, with that we need to go.
All right, we appreciate you guys being fans, being huge fans. Like and subscribe, share the show. If you got value from today's show, share it up with somebody else who will also get value on the show. Have a fantastic night. We're out of here.
See you later.